Breaker 19. It's Dave DeCoteau at the Trailers from Hell Studios. You know, in the late 70s, if you didn't have a CB radio in your car or your truck, you weren't cool. So movies like Hi-Ballin were made. Let's take a look at the trailer. You know, if you want to make a convoy movie, you can get Sam Peckinpah to direct it. You want to make it in Canada, you can't get Sam Peckinpah, but you can get Peter Fonda. You can get Jerry Reed just off the success of Smokey and the Bandit. You get Sam Markoff to give you a little money, and you make your picture. Here's Hi-Ballin. This is probably one of the most miserable looking car crash, convoy, road wreck movies of the late 70s. Made up in Canada, and back in the good old Canadian content days, if you wanted to invest in a movie and you wanted it to qualify, you had to finish shooting by December 31st, and most rich Canadians did not know what their tax bill was going to be till October 31st. So what ended up happening was a ton of movies were made in probably the worst time of the year in Canada. And so it was great for filmmakers who wanted to get their movies made. It was great for rich Canadians for the tax dodge. But Tourism Canada hated these movies because it looked like Canada was wet, miserable, snowy, and sleety year-round. Here's Helen Shaver, who's gone on to be a very successful actress and director. You got Peter Fonda here and Jerry Reed. This is actually a little darker. This movie's a little darker than normal. It's got a little bit more violence in it, a little bit more mean-spiritedness to it than your usual Convoy or Smokey and the Bandit. Basically, the film is almost made up along the way. There's not much story. It's a little sluggish. It was actually one of the last movies to be released by American International Pictures before it was sold off to Orion. I saw this movie in the theater, Broadway Theater in Portland, Oregon. It's a lot of fun. Jerry Reed is so appealing in the movie, he almost steals it from Peter Fonda. But just looking at some of these car stunts on obviously icy roads gives the film a little bit of suspense and action that you would not normally have for this kind of picture. Lots of explosions, lots of car crashes, and Helen Shaver looking terrific in her little sexy outfit there. Film was shot by Renee Verzier, who had just worked for David Cronenberg on Rabid, and shot Rituals and a little film called The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. He was the fastest shooter in Canada, and he's still alive, and he's still working in Montreal. But when you look at this movie, it's kind of depressing because it's just so snowy and sleety and ugh. But lots of good action scenes, and I think they actually may have brought up an American stunt team for this picture. But hey, you know, American International Pictures was the best company around, and this was one of the last pictures they released.